one word is perfection, because I'm gonna try to perfect every aspect of the car. So people knowing me know I'm gonna go through the whole car. So the suspension, the wheels, the motor, they know everything pretty much on the touch. So he get that drivability, not a bumpy ride, stiff, just smooth going down the highway. 95, 100 sometimes on the highway when we going to these shows, and we just be riding, or sometimes he even drive this to work. Slide and put your mind in. Name P, go by Khalil on IG. Passion for cars really just started at a young age, just being infatuated with the different shapes, sizes, sounds of a car. My dad's side was pretty big on cars, worked on them, so I always wanted to get hands-on with them, get a good understanding of all, the different systems. Like, you got Chrysler, Chevys, Dodge, Fords, so all these different companies and how the systems tied together, brake systems, the engines. How could you modify them? How could you make them better? So I always just wanted to understand the full concept of a vehicle, and really just have an opportunity to work on them. So at a young age, learn how to do brakes, learning the different parts of the motor. Yeah, just day in the life of dealing with these cars. I advise everybody to have some type of hands-on knowledge. Know what you're dealing with. Shit, you be on the side of the road. Anything when dealing with these. Just got the car back. Still dialing it in, tuning it, since I got a pretty new setup on here for what was on here before. So, been trying to drive it, work out all the bugs, we're tuning it, see what it like, see what it don't like. Trying to get it how I want, driving wise. Driving on the highway, everything, just working out all them little bugs and kinks when you really driving on the street. Some people like dynoing them, but I mean, most of the time with these cars, we street driving them, so it works out a little bit better for me. And another thing, being able to identify which car was which probably really intrigued me. So like seeing from a fender or a grill or the lights, trying to pick out which car was which. So I think that was something that intrigued me, and understanding which year it was and the different models and all the different features of it. So yeah, when I was younger, definitely muscle cars definitely caught my attention.
Yeah, cut it all the way out, then the plug come out the back of it.
Since I was 7, pretty much, just helping my grandfather, brakes, little stuff. And I kind of just fell in love with it since then. It just really, it's an obsession now, an addiction. So, yeah, really just starting young and just loving everything about a car, learning the ins and outs of them, need for speed, so I always wanted more. So every car I try to do something a little bit different, put my own little twist to it. Really start with a vision for one, and then just go from that. Because I mean, when I first got this one, the whole front clip was off. McGee's Garage cleaned up the engine bay for me, gave me the look that I was looking for, and this shit really looked factory in us. So it came together with my vision that I had for it, just being a nice little daily driver, just something I could just get up and go, run up and down the highway. So, and still have a little power, be a little sleeper, and you wouldn't even realize what's in here.
Knowing a lot of people, man. But one of my biggest supporters, got Paris Taylor. That's my buddy. That's one of my day one buddy with these cars. I've been messing with him for a long time. I wanted to do my own thing, man. He wanted to, him and I got another guy, Tony. they really motivated me to just, hey, bro, you good enough to go do that yourself. You got a skill a lot of people ain't got. We're working on the Project 96. As you can see, we got the Supercharger installed. We got new headers on it. We got the inner fenders painted. We got them back in. We did the modifying to the wiring, got that wire harness nice and condensed. What I got left, after install the heat exchanger, the pump, and the tank. We're gonna add a tensioner and add a idler pulley. And we're just gonna keep it simple like this right here. Running off the one belt setup, keep the cost down. It's still gonna work and it's still gonna look good.
My favorite car, which I have the 70 Chevelle, from the first day I saw it, it just screamed American muscle. So always trying to get that car, looking at all the details on it, all the specs. It was just from the design, from the quarters, the sleekness, the big beefy size, the glass, just being able to identify all that stuff, it just screamed American muscle for me. Speed, probably, really, I mean, every dream car for a guy, me. And when I got the opportunity to get one, man, it mind-blowing, just trying to think of a concept that was timeless and that would stand out, because you know, with a Chevelle, it's only so much you can do to it, but you still want that classic look before you go really into the Pro Touring and all that. So I kind of been having the ideas that I had for a while for it, and just trying to really understand what I want to do with it and brainstorm. My first old school being a Cutlass, so just doing one of them, and the G-bodies and stuff like that, learning about them, just coming up with a concept, really just wanted something clean, decent, trying to understand what motor to go in and stuff like that. So LS wasn't big yet, so had a small block in it. So just color wise, something clean, simple, classic. Rims was okay back then and there, just something to ride on pretty much. But I ended up selling it. I ended up doing the interior, paint, wheels, motor, all that stuff. So I kind of grew up out of it and then moved on to something else. Now that first one, I was able to get help from different people, my dad's side, and just friends really, and just, you know. So just another day at the shop, week before classes, leave Thursday. So everybody trying to get this stuff ready. We got, you know, all type of shit. Cutlass, donks, my boy putting on his trim. It's just, we go every year, try to have fun, different stuff to do, have a good time, meet different people, network, and just relax really most of the time, get off from work and stuff like that. So this car just got vintage air put on it, so he wanted that feel for when he got down there, turn on the heat, AC, blow good, windows up. We just changed the oil on the Cutlass. This one ain't going, but you know, just getting this one ready for when I come back, changing the oil on that one, spark plug still, getting that tune ready. Typical stuff too, so some people getting their cars painted right now. Putting interior in, we pretty much do it all up here right now. On my buddy, he just got his car back, so we gonna tune it, we gonna put all the trim on it, put all the lights on it, make sure everything working pretty good, and try to drive it before we leave and before we get down there. We try not to work on it down there, but sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. This would be my 5th classic I think I done went to, so I've been going to consistently, taking a different car every time, but I'm gonna take my dunk this time, just to better with the Florida vibe and just a little bit better than me. So drop the top, ride down, Magic Mall, all that stuff. So majority of us got donks, so it'd be a good look. A couple A bodies, a couple G bodies. So we usually go down about 7-8 cars, so should be a good look, you know, for Atlanta and for Orlando Classic. So, you know, just a representation. With the donks, man, it's pretty good because they big cars. So the motors we got in them, the color schemes, people like it. It's different. They got little bit of the Florida twist, so we try to do our own. Like pretty much all the donks we got, if you look back at this one, got a 7-8 inch lip, some got 9, some got 10. So it's just that little touch we try to do of our own. This, you know, a hard top, he got a custom made top that go on and that matches Terry in the inside. So just, you know, something different, just to, you know, set ourselves aside from others. So when I'm planning to build, I got notes that I keep for it in my phone. So I start brainstorming what parts I want to go with, what type of wheel designs, color, interior. So just coming up with a true concept of what all I need to really buy for this car. Really looking online too, YouTube, seeing what, you know, different shows and stuff too, seeing what people already did out there with theirs, seeing what's that neck touch that I can do with mine to make it stand out a little bit more. Yeah, and just really just breaking it down that way, from the suspension, from the body, paint, from the engine aspects, drivetrain, yeah, just everything. Any little detail from the trim, custom trimming, like on my blue Chevelle, when I did that one, I had the LSA Supercharged, usually where they put the cowl induction symbol. So little details like that to make it stand out a little bit. Yeah. Really the time frame and going into a build, if I'm buying a car, I probably didn't already had an idea of what I wanted to look for. So I'd already started a note for it. And once I buy it, that's when I start buying the parts and really digging into the concept of everything of it. What type of suspension, what I'm gonna do with the car is gonna be like this one. I knew I wanted to do a daily driver for it. So I knew I wanted still something a nice size. So the whole reason I went into getting a 96 is the size of it. I can still put my kids in the back. Spacious, other people can ride with me. Didn't want to go too crazy on the wheels, something simple, clean. I like the blade style look, five blade. And motor-wise, just something I knew would be dependable and definitely able to still have that horsepower. So I'm big on the supercharger right now, so I knew it was gonna have a little supercharger, but just something I knew I can still play with in the street, and you probably wouldn't even think it was in there. This build took me about 6 months. I actually found it here, got a good deal for it, and the whole front clip was off of it. So one of my buddies, real big in Impala parts, make sure y'all hit him up, Ivan, Impala parts on IG. He helped me find all the different stuff for it. I knew I was going back black. When I bought the car, I didn't want to buy any other color but black, so that's why I waited so long for one. It was in solid condition. It had been wrecked, so I had to actually deal with some frame damage, so I got that worked out, and just really put it back together. So it took me about a good 6 months to map out everything. I got the motor rebuilt, freshened up, ready for a supercharger in that aspect. From anything from how the fuel operate, how the car idle, all that stuff is important. From even like the cooling system. So if the car overheating, you can, with these systems, you tie the fan into the setup. So my last little setup on this, matter of fact, I had HP tuners, and when the guy tuned it, one of the fans never really cut on. So that was another thing I had to do. But now he got it tuned into the operating temp to run it and all that stuff. So I think it don't go no highest I seen it go right now with the new radiator was like 180. Yeah, so we got the new file in there. He made the adjustments that I asked for. Stuff with the transmission, stuff with the idle. I put new plugs in it, new oil, so they should see a difference. So we noticed the plugs was filed out. So I should see a difference from when I'm driving it, and it should be a little better than it was before. So it's just constant going back and forth, driving and send the log, driving and send the log to get it that right spot. interior, freshened up the interior. I knew I wanted to go with the stock look. Nothing too crazy, just because with these cars, they timeless right now. So that All About the Benjamins look from that movie just really sold the idea of this car. Music wise, just something simple, beat. Uh, yeah, it was a fun build. The most important aspect of doing a build to me is really just coming up with a design that's gonna leave your footprint on the car game. So I think every car that I done did, people will recognize and be like, I know that's the type of car he would build. So just going up in another level and another bar with different builds and stuff like that. Having a build that even if you buy it, white, black, Asian, still, have a look at it and be like, it's a good car all the way around. I go for cars that are timeless, so like a Chevelle 96 Impala, stuff that's collectible that people will want to have in their collection most of the time. So it's just having stuff like that, and if I ever wanted to sell it, it wouldn't be hard at all to sell it because it's something people usually want most of the time. One word is perfection, because I'm gonna try to perfect every aspect of the car. So people knowing me know I'm gonna go through the whole car. So it's the suspension, the wheels, the motor. They know everything pretty much gonna get touched. Going into SEMA 2024 was mind blowing for me. First time being able to have the credentials to go, and the different type of people I met too. It was pretty mind blowing. Being in Vegas, decent weather out there. It was pretty cool. But just meeting the different people and seeing all the people that I've seen on like IG, YouTube, doing all these big major high dollar builds. So all of them in one room, and kind of being able to pick their brain about different stuff they did to the car, what some of the stuff they ran into on the car. So when I am going into these builds, some of the stuff I had problems with too, or that next build I'm thinking about doing, what they did. Like I know one of the big things I noticed was the type of steering wheels that everybody was using. $3,000 steering wheel that they designed, that once you put everything together, it's like $3,000. It's got a nice little sleek formula design. So looking at stuff like that, paint jobs, interior. It was a nice OBS truck that Gas Monkey built that had like a glass roof. First time seeing something like that. So just taking notes, picking their brains, and seeing how can I bring some of them concepts into my next build for sure. So it was a good experience. I'm definitely going next year. Hoping to one day take a car down there and just even have it displayed outside. So just showing off the different builds. Biggest takeaway, the different styles that people have with these builds. So like you can tell a person coming from California, Midwest, from Atlanta, just some of the stuff that they inquired in their builds, I would say. So like California, they more set on the Pro Tour and drivability. So being able to ride through the mountains and stuff like that. So just identify some of that stuff and just taking away from that and trying to bring it into some of the stuff that I'm doing. With my builds that I have now, the 96 Impala, 70 Chevelle, 75 Caprice convertible donk, just builds that I knew I always wanted to do. So I got a lot of buddies that got donks. So I knew I wanted to have an imprint in the donk game. So it's really a Florida thing, but seeing how they built them and stuff like that with the crazy paint jobs, crazy motor setups, and all this just in the convertible. Probably was one of the craziest build I did, probably most expensive too. It's just, you can't find all the parts for them like the Chevelle. So just being able to go through that build was pretty stressful and crazy at the same time, but it turned out pretty good. And definitely finding parts for it. Fixing the floor, the fenders, doors, the amount of body work that went into that car. Really, I wish I would have started off with a better foundation, I would say. Spending a little bit more for a vehicle and really having a solid foundation to start from a good canvas. Because I feel like you spend more dealing with the headaches and stuff like that and finding parts. So motor wise, I knew what I was gonna do. Big motor, big supercharger, so that was kind of easy for me. But I knew this time I was gonna just buy a crate motor to cancel out all the confusion and know exactly what I wanted. Setting up suspension on those cars, since they so wide and so long, man, drivability was big for me on those. So just being able to drive it anywhere, driving on the highway, driving to a car show, not trailing it, and still be able to do a burnout up the street. So just allowing it to handle that type of horsepower, because no type of motor was in there in 1975. So that was one of the things I definitely wanted to get a hand on. The Donk has a Madison 2650 hot rod supercharger. So in that aspect, I already did like a LSA style supercharger. Did a Pro Charger before, so I know I wanted to try out a different brand with that one. And just being able to read up on it, I looked at Whipple, looked at Magnuson, and working with the guys at Wagner Performance for the pulley setup and telling them what it was going in, specing it for that, rating it for the music that was gonna go in there, and just having a good all-around build that's, you know, drives good and puts down the power. 1970 Chevelle, I knew with that one, this car was gonna be black from the go. I love black cars for some reason. They hard to keep clean, but I just love them for some reason. That car got a Mercedes black on it. With that one, I knew I wanted the new technology in there, so I got an LT4 set up in that car. So just being able to use the new technology and put into something like that, and talking to somebody and telling them like this came from a new Camaro, a new Corvette and stuff like that. So showing that it's actually possible to work and still have a drivability, but still have a sound that Chevelle gives off, that muscle car, that geek mom. So that was key for me. Red insides, I love that red and black combo. And really the wheel, I wanted on a hardtop Chevelle the widest wheel that I can get. So started off back half in the car, I got a 24 by 13 on it now. Could fit a 15, just ain't pushed it to that, but making sure it still rides good with that. I've drove the car for a couple hours up the road to LaGrange, McDonough, through the city, everything. So just having something that has a wheel that wide and still able to have that drivability out of it. Because that's the first thing people say is when they see the whips. It's crazy. Oh yeah, full suspension. That car would have been back half, had to have a 4-link setup. So making it stiff enough and able to endure the power. The frame, when you're doing the back half, the frame has to be cut. So to being able to take a wide wheel like that, having full tubs, not mini tub, and then going into that aspect, it affected the interior. So my whole back seat had to be modified for it. Yeah, just the front suspension, the front wheels, wheel wood brake setup, 6 pistons, 4 pistons in the back. Just tying in that's all together. I went with the red for the red in the inside. So even like the stripes on the car, it got a dark gray stripe. So everybody usually do white, so a little something different. So just with building these cars and then having my son around, he probably inherit all of them, and just, you know, leaving him with something that he'd be like, my dad built this, or I helped my dad build this, I seen my dad built this. So leaving that legacy in him coming up and growing up, and, you know, hopefully one day he'll be into the cars like I am, and how it was passed down generation to me. Yeah, so it's definitely a dedication. Man, we probably been up here the last 5 days, every night. It's about 1, 2 in the morning. Come back in the morning, doing it all over again. So it's a Sunday for us. So just trying to get as much done as we can in this little amount of time since we're leaving later in the week. And it's just that love for cars. Shit, we about to grab some food now. Everybody gonna eat. Still help each other out. It's really just setting that tradition too. So I got my son with me now. He in the back. He come to the shop. So, you know, instilling my passion into him. So one day, you know, he'll have his own stuff and then be able to carry that torch. So
this is on my own personal car. This is my first time doing the adjustable control on. And I unscrewed the motherfucker trying to get it lined up to get the bolt in. When I should have been turning the middle part, I was turning it in. So I couldn't get all the adjustment I needed to bring the rim forward. But I think I got it now. Pin angle good.
Good.
We're gonna put it on the ground and give it a test drive.
Do a little test drive, see what it do, how it react.
Yeah.
So, just and allowing him to have the pick of some of the best cars too. So like a Chevelle, his first car gonna be a Grand National. So just allowing him to being able to own something like that, you know, walk into that, which I didn't have the opportunity to, but passing that down on to him. So the mark I want to leave on the car game, man, just a timeless build. Just having something that people see and be like, a lot of work and detail went into this build. They know I did it. They can see the passion that I had for it, and really just standing over time. So like even with the car game progressing so much, they see the type of concept and detail and thought that went into a build like this. So just and something, you know, for them to enjoy too, looking at, like, you know, all cars ain't appealing. Really able to look at me like, man, this is a nice ass fucking car at the end of the day, and a true build. So definitely from years on, people looking back on YouTube and builds and stuff like that and be like, hey, this guy had a 79 Malibu that was probably one of the hardest out, a 70 Chevelle that was hard. So just over time being looked back on, be like, okay, he always had nice cars and a good build, and they stood out, stood the test of time.